Hello, I'm Dave, and this is another episode of Nerd Talk, the Capper Collective. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. If you haven't, this is usually a pretty long show. Tonight it's going to be short, about an hour. But what we do is we actually cap in front of your face. It's an idea that was born of something we already did. We cap behind the scenes on StreamYard, through DMs, texting, and we figured, hey, why not do it in front of everyone? And we have cappers from all over the world, actually, that come on the show. Today it's going to be a little smaller. But someone I really enjoy working with on his channel and mine. I've got Marley from Brothers and Vets. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing great, man. Appreciate it. Been gone from the capping world for a little while, but we got some videos in this week, so I was under the weather a little bit, but feeling good, feeling great. I've been on a little run actually last couple of days, man. Oh, by the way, best fucking team in baseball. Been saying it all year.
Yeah.
Just want to throw that out there real quick.
No, the series is over. It's over.
Yeah.
It's over tomorrow.
Yeah. It's over tomorrow for sure. Astros in 6.
It's all good. I found ways to bet the World Series. I didn't think I could. I nailed the first game. Phillies team total, because Verlander's not good in the World Series. That's the only way you could bet. And he was almost there again. I'd had 3.5 over for the first 5, and they got 2 right away. They almost hit a home run with that. What was the guy's name? Phillies. Anyways, it bounced. No, it wasn't the Phillies. It was a guy after Pena.
Alcantara? No, not Alcantara.
Anyway, it bounced off the wall. Would have been a home run if it was
the one McCormick grabbed.
Yeah. Anyway, it's good. I mean, good for the Astros, good for the Phillies. I mean, I said it all along. You know, I don't like Bryce Harper. I don't think he deserves anything.
I like Bryce. Why you don't like Bryce? I think he's cocky as shit, but I like that.
Well, there are some stories that, again, it's here. I guess I should
know nothing about any stories about him. So
I know guys that played with him in Vegas and like
yeah, he's from out there, right.
Yeah, and granted, they're probably jealous of him. But here's the deal: I don't know him, and I should only judge him by what I see. But he's kind of calmed down. He's not as bad as like he was, and Manny Machado used to be. I just don't like the guy. But anyway, it's an improbable. Some guys you just don't like. I mean, you know, it's the way it is, and I don't have to like him. He doesn't have to like me. But
at least you're
good for the Phillies because yeah, I mean, some people you just don't like. But good for the Phillies for getting this far. Good for the Astros. The Astros are the best put together team in the major leagues for sure. It's not even a question. But that's not why we're here. We're going to get in and out. We're going to try to do an hour show. We're doing we've been starting with hockey because that just has worked out, but we're going to do all college football. I might mention some things at the end of the show, for maybe NFL, maybe even not. This might just be all college. I post my plays, you post your plays, you do videos on just about every big game there is. So we don't have to go over everything, but I want to jump right in with the game of the weekend. At least it's going to be the highest watched game, and that's Tennessee and Georgia. I mean,
big boy football.
Yeah, big boy. I mean, this is the game, probably the biggest. It is the biggest game of the season so far. It definitely defines a playoff. Well, there's also the SEC championship, but this defines the winner of this probably is a playoff team. The loser might still be a playoff team, but I index Georgia at home at 6.74, and it's at 9. And this is what's kind of strange to me. Has it
moved up to 9?
Yeah, it moved up to 9, and that's weird because it seems like everyone I hear, all the people I respect, they're all in Tennessee, and I don't blame them. I'm high on Tennessee. Georgia's still Georgia. They don't have the best college defense of all time like last year. They still got dudes. They're still kicking ass, and it's at the crib, and the line went up. So what do you think? Because that scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, the line going up is kind of weird because most people that I know are on Tennessee. You would think the line would go down. So for it to go up is a little bit confusing because I personally, nobody that I've talked to capper-wise or that I've heard outside of, I heard some guys on ESPN pick Georgia, but everybody I know is picking Tennessee. I think
that bald guy picked Georgia. What's his name? Van Pelt.
Scott picked Georgia.
Yeah.
And that's not who I'm talking about. One of the, I can't think of his name. He does the college show though. I can't think of his name right now. But Yeah, it's kind of weird, man. Everybody I know it's on Tennessee with the points. A couple people outright are on the money line. So for it to go down is a bit confusing. Maybe I mean for it to go up, excuse me, is a bit confusing, especially with Georgia missing Nolan Smith. Is that his name? The linebacker, I believe.
Yeah. I don't know his
Starting
name.
linebacker, I believe. With him being out, it's kind of reverse. You would think. I hate to bust the bubble here, but I mean, I am also as well on Tennessee. I'm glad I haven't taken the bet yet because I'm going to catch it at 9. Maybe I'll wait and see if it goes up some more. But my thing is this: I'm not as confident as everyone else. I'll tell you that. I'm not. 1 second. Moneyline, I'm doing the show. I will call you back after.
Hey, man, Oregon State tonight?
No, I am definitely not on Oregon State tonight.
They got a better defense.
But the quarterback is hurt. Hey, I'm live. You are live right now. I am live. We're doing somebody's show.
Hey, defense wins championships, bro.
Yeah, but they got a backup quarterback. We'll talk later.
They gonna pound that rock on their head. All right, bro.
So if you watch the show, that's the boy homie Moneyline. He doesn't make appearances, but we talk about him a lot. Sometimes he'll come on with his voice. Anyway, we call him Moneyline because he takes underdogs Moneyline all the time. So it's no surprise that he's on Oregon State right now. Back to the game we're talking about. I'm not as confident as everybody else is. And simply because of what you said. Yeah, they have a lot of first round picks that left on that defense last year, but that defense is still top notch above the league. The reason I personally am on Tennessee is because I just feel like they're more battle tested. Georgia really hasn't played anybody that can even test them yet. I think if they play Oregon again, it'd be a different story. That was earlier in the year, and they just kind of throttled them. I still think they win the game, but I don't think it's just that bad. But outside of maybe, do we count Florida as a good team? Like outside of Florida, they really haven't played anybody, even with the caliber of athletes that they have. So that worries me. When I look at Tennessee, they play Kentucky, they play Alabama, LSU for what it's worth. And I won't count Florida if I'm not going to count it against Georgia, but I still got 4 other opponents that are at least ranked. And Florida was ranked at the time. Like I said, we won't count Florida. So we'll say 3 of the opponents that were ranked. Offensively, I think Georgia's going to have a hard time. I think they will score. The question is going to be, can Stetson Bennett keep up with Hendon Hooker, and can Georgia defense slow Tennessee's offense down? That's the story. Those are the questions that we have to have answered in this game. I don't think he can, because I think they're just too fast. Now, when I say I don't think he can, I mean as far as I don't know who's going to win the game, but I don't know if they win by 9. Well, at least double digits for the Georgia backers to not get the push. So you need to win by a touchdown and a field goal. This team just beat Alabama, although be it was at home. They just beat Alabama outright. I would at least like to think they can compete with Georgia. They have the athletes to compete. I think they have the coach. I think they have the system. I think they have the quarterback. Defense has played amazing for anybody that's followed this team last year. I'm one of the guys that this defense was terrible last year. Like,
awful.
The way they're playing right now, I think they're only giving up 21 points per game. I mean, I know it's still 3 touchdowns, but compared to what this defense did last year, that is an amazing turnaround. And especially with their offense, because their offense pushed their ass right back on the field. No matter if they get a stop or don't get a stop, the offense is going to go. So I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be like super long-winded, but I still like Tennessee plus the 8. I am going to sprinkle a tad bit, like no more than probably half a unit on the money line, but I'm going to at least do a full unit on the Tennessee plus the 9 right now. I would love for it to go to 10. I would love for some Georgia money to come in tonight and tomorrow and catch me a double-digit spread. I mean, this is the number 1 ranked team in the country. You're going to give me 8? You're going to give me 9 points? I mean, I feel like I have to take the 9. I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like I have to take that.
It's very strange. And by the way, Tennessee's defense, who was horrible last year, I remember
it was
the game versus Purdue at the end of the year, but they average 20.6 points per game given up. That's 18th. So technically, they are the 18th best scoring defense in college football. So I don't know. This is a fun game. This is, if you've seen the movie Monty Python, this is Run Away, the Holy Grail. Everything you said. Tennessee, number one team. Why is the number one team in the nation almost a double-digit dog? Yeah, it's fun to talk about, but I'm off. Next game we were discussing was when we talk about Clemson Notre Dame.
Washington games. Is this tonight? Do you have any?
Yeah, we could talk about that one. We could go in. Yeah, guys have time. We have some time. Yeah, Washington, Oregon State at Washington. Where did I cap this at? Where are you? All right, I have it as a Washington as a 2-point favorite, so it's a lean with the points. Problem is, Oregon State doesn't have their quarterback. Washington's at home, and Penix, whoever you say his name, is a dude. They have the number one passing offense in the country. The thing is Oregon State is a top 20 defense, and their shining light is their DBs. But with all that said, the totals opened at 60, went all the way down to 52.5 right now because of Chance Nolan being out. And the weather, well, it's 15% chance of rain. It was supposed to be like 80%. So I think it's too low. I took the over. I'm that sucker that does that. But this game, even if it's 28-25, we win the bet. So I like the over in the game. And Marlon and I were talking about it, but you have another bet on the game, I think.
Yeah, I do. I'm kind of halfway with you with the total. But I took the team total with Washington. I got it at 30 plus 100. And I feel that way, like I said earlier, simply because with Nolan out, I'm not sure what I can get from Oregon State. That's what kept me off the total for the full game. And I agree with you. And not only do I agree with you, I think Oregon State has the best defense in the Pac-12. And like you said, their DBs is the best thing they got going for them. But one thing you did say another thing you said I agree with, they play up to their competition and they play down to their competition. Mm-hmm. So I expect them to start well, but what I do expect when they get down, that defense is going to fold just because it's only going to be so much they can do once they'll get tired. I've seen it happen with Utah. They started out very competitive. Nolan gets hurt. Utah scores. Offense can't do anything. I think Utah scores again. Offense can't do anything. And it's like the defense just was like, fuck it. They can't do anything. Then we're just going to pack it up and go home. And Seattle, there's nothing to do in Seattle tonight. It's Friday night. There's nothing to do but go to the game. Fucking crowd is going to be rocking. I love first half. I made a play on the money line. It's a little more than I recommend for anybody. But I got a little gas in the tank. So I put on the money line, just a safe play. But I like the -4. I did a half unit on that, and I did a full unit on the team total over 30. I just feel like they're averaging fucking 40 points. As good as this defense is at the crib at night, I can see this kind of getting away a little bit, especially when I just don't know what that offense is going to be able to produce. You heard Moneyline. He thinks they're going to run the ball down their throat. But if they're down double digits, they can't run the ball. So I would like to think they're going to be forced to pass the ball. But we'll see. I like Washington here. I like Penix. I like the offense. Like you mentioned this earlier when we were talking. I'm not sure if you mentioned it on the show, but this is number one offense. Is it in the Pac-12 or in the nation?
Passing in the country. Number one passing in the country.
Right. I think they're averaging over 300 or 400.
300 something. I can look it up right now, but they're by far number one.
Right. So, yeah, I'm all over. I mean, as much as I love this Oregon State defense, Utah put up 42. I know they held USC to like 17, if I'm not mistaken, but that was at Oregon, which is a very tough place to play. I mean, this was my sleeper team in the conference. I know all about this team. That was at Oregon. They're a different team on the road. I think Fresno put up almost 30 on them when they went to Fresno to play. This is a very potent offense in Washington with Penix. I like the -4.5. I like the first half. I didn't take the 3, but I do like the team total over 30.
Yeah, they're number one, 379 yards per game.
I know it's close to 400.
Yeah, no, he's a dude. I mean, no doubt about it. I don't mind Washington scoring points. I have the over. So we'll go there. Let's go to Clemson Notre Dame. Again, I have a big question mark for me. I have this index as a pick 'em, and 4 and 5s are my favorite dog numbers. We're getting 4 points with Notre Dame. The thing is, Notre Dame has played some really bad games. Marshall came in and beat them. What was the other one? The first game of the season? I forget. That's how unforgettable it is. I mean, it just
Ohio State. Was it Ohio State?
No,
it wasn't Notre Dame. Ohio State. Yes, it was. No, it was. Hold on. I'm pulling it up literally.
I got 15,000 screens. I always do this. I'm the worst show producer in the world. It was Ohio State. That's not the game I'm talking about. Stanford.
The show. They lost to Stanford, yes, but that wasn't the first game of the season.
No, Ohio State was the first game. They covered that game. I remember.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, they've been suspect. Granted, I don't think Clemson has really played any, and I'm not saying Notre Dame is someone. Notre Dame might be the best team they've played this year, and Notre Dame has to get their shit together. I guess they're not two lost. Yeah, they're not going to go to the playoffs. I think they have to finish the year out strong. I think they want respect. That's a place that we know that respect means something. Like, guys aren't just going to give up at Notre Dame. That's not how they are. And they don't play an easy schedule anyways. I mean, they finished the season with USC. Right. They don't want another loss, and it's at home and it's late in the year. They also do real well late in the year. So I'm not on this, and those are all really fuzzy feely things because the numbers say Clemson as far as statistics go, but I think it might be a bad spot for Clemson, although everyone I know is on Clemson. So what do you think?
So on my show, I took Clemson minus the 4. I'm kind of second guessing that for the reasons you said just now. Notre Dame's at the crib. I think they need this game. I mean, I'm not saying Clemson doesn't, but I just think they need it a little bit more. Like you said, right now it's just all about respect. It's probably about recruiting for next year. This is Freeman's first year. But I still think Clemson, although it doesn't seem like it, they're still the number 4 ranked team in the country.
I know.
They're still averaging as bad and as much as we've talked shit, myself included, about DJ and the Clemson offense, they're still averaging 37 points a game and only giving up 19. The defense is still pretty good. They're supposed to be the best defensive line in college football. I don't know if it's we're not talking about them or if it's just they're not who they were. So, hey, help Shizzy, you're the only one in the chat right now because you just are. How about that?
Yeah, this show wasn't advertised on the other channels that we're on. This is going to be a small, quick, not high view show, but that's just the way it goes.
Hey, you're the only one that's going to make some money tonight. How about that? Or tomorrow.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to what I was talking about. Clemson in the D line. The only thing that I can say that's making me want to take the 4, one, it's over a field goal. Like you said, it's in that sweet spot. Over 3 is what you like to get. If you can get over 3, it's always great. And they're at the crib, and it's about respect. But when I look at the talent level and who has the better players, even who has the better quarterback, and I'm counting DJ, I still lean Clemson. Clemson has the better quarterback. I think Clemson has the better athletes. I think they have the better offense. Defensively, which is Notre Dame's strong point, I still think even if you want to say Notre Dame is better, which I'll still take Clemson, it's only got slightly. So I'm still going to go with Clemson minus the 4, but I'm not as confident as I was a couple days ago.
Yeah, it's a stay out. I mean, this week has a lot of interesting matchups. Just none I'm going to probably pull the trigger on the big games. I'm going to do my crappy teams like I do. It's just where the money is. I don't know. I might find a way to get on Notre Dame, but anyway, Clemson also has something to play for too. I mean, granted, they're undefeated, aren't they? They're undefeated. So I mean, yeah. And I don't know if a one-loss Clemson team is a shoo-in for the playoffs. That's just what I think.
Going off like crazy.
No problem. Do you think a one loss Clemson team? You just froze. Yeah, I don't think so either. I actually think, and this is, we'll talk about this real quick. I actually think, let's say Notre Dame beats Clemson. Let's run down this let's go down the rabbit hole. Notre Dame beat Clemson.
Okay.
UCLA wins every game up to the point they play USC. Notre Dame wins every game up to the point they play USC. Clemson only loses one game to Notre Dame. USC beats UCLA, beats Notre Dame, goes to the championship, and Utah beats them. So USC's only loss is to Utah by one. Was it 1 point? By 1 point. How are they not in serious consideration for a playoff spot?
Okay, so you'll have
one loss to Utah by 1 point.
So they're going to be going up against a one loss, either Georgia or Tennessee.
Okay.
Or a one loss Alabama. Do you put one loss USC over one loss?
No. They'd squeak in, but think about all the other teams that are going to be question marks. I mean, Clemson,
I think Michigan will get in if they beat Ohio State.
Yes,
if they beat Ohio State, Michigan gets in. Then you'll say either Tennessee or Georgia will be undefeated, so one of them will get in. Then they
need some help. They need some help.
Who does?
USC would need some help to get in.
Right. They need Alabama to lose another game.
Yep.
Probably the SEC championship.
Or for Michigan to lose
or
games,
Michigan,
probably won't.
Or Michigan. Michigan to lose the Ohio State. Well, Michigan to lose the Ohio State game. I might can see a one. I wouldn't be mad if you put a one-loss Michigan USC over a one-loss Michigan. Like I wouldn't be an uproar.
I don't think they'll get it. They won't get it. They won't. The NCAA really does not like USC. They're not doing them any favors.
I think they'll favor USC this year because of the notoriety. Oh well, do you think Michigan has more notoriety? Who's going to bring more money, USC or Michigan?
Oh, that's not even a question.
USC, right?
Yeah, it's not even a question.
So I think they'll get the bid.
There's only one school. There's only one school that has a bigger endowment fund than USC. It's bigger than Texas's even. Biggest.
I was going to say Texas.
Harvard's number one. Well, this was as of, I haven't looked at it in 10 years, but when I was going there, it was Harvard and then USC. That was and it's
Texas because we got oil money.
Not because oil money. It's not because USC is a better school than Harvard or even on par. It's still a good school. It's a top 25 school in the country as far as academics go, but they just have a lot of rich motherfuckers that go there. It's, if you do me a favor, it's changed. Okay, now it looks nice. They built it around, but 20 years ago when I went there, it was in the hood, right? And you walk outside, and every day there was something in the newspaper about someone getting stabbed or robbed at knife point or whatever. But when you went on campus, it was like a different world. There were all these like tan, blonde. Back then, Uggs were popular, so all these like just beautiful rich girls all over the place. It's crazy. It was heaven. But anyways, back to what I was saying. USC has a lot of money, and they do want that money, but I don't think they're going to win over a one-loss Michigan that lost Ohio State. There's no way.
Ooh, Wake Forest stopped geoengineering Wake Forest on the road at North Carolina State.
That's my next game I want to talk about. So why don't we just talk about that?
Yeah, let's go.
And Top Geo, thanks for coming in. Yeah, we're going to talk about that right now. By the way, this is going to be a quicker show. You know, a bunch of people are gone again. We're going to be full strength next week, though. Wake Forest and NC State. I have this at a pick 'em too. I think Wake Forest is overrated. I think NC State's been disappointing, but that's because they've had a QB. I mean, we both had NC State potentially winning the ACC.
Right.
But they're getting 3 points. Here's the deal. MJ Morris, the guy. Okay, let's talk about Jack Chambers. Jack Chambers is transfer guy. He has all. I have all the respect for older guys. You know, the 5th year, 6th year guys that come in. They say he's a leader, but he's just not good, and that's what they can't score. And they've only been close in games because their defense is good. This last game, even though I think they squeaked it up by 1 point against Virginia Tech. The guy threw for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. They can score now. So I'm seriously considering taking the points with NC State. Granted, I've lost every bet I've taken this year with them. So go ahead.
I have stayed away from them since earlier. Kind of learned my lesson. I'm trying to think of what game that I backed them and lost. I'm not sure, but maybe I just noticed they weren't playing as well as I expected them to play. I don't know what's going on in Wake Forest. I didn't like what I saw in Louisville. I don't know if it's an on the road thing. I mean, I'm not high on Louisville, so maybe I need to be higher on Louisville. But for them to score 21 points, I mean, they're averaging 38 points a game. But the one bright spot about North Carolina State is the defense is still fucking good. They're only giving up 17 points a game. Yep. If they couldn't score on the road at Louisville, what makes me think they're going to turn it around and score a ton of points on this North Carolina State defense at the crib, which is a game they need. I think right now both these teams are just playing for bowl games. And to end the season not to end the season, we still got a little ways to go, but to be on a, they don't want to finish with more than 2 or 3. I mean, this team was picked not only by us, but by a lot of people to win the ACC, or at least be way more competitive than what they've been. I'm not sure what's going on with Hartman in that offer. I just didn't like what I saw last game. Not only last game, really since Clemson. I'm not high on Florida State, so really since Clemson, they haven't played anybody, including Louisville. So I'm actually off this game though, so I don't want to give anybody no false picks. But if you give me a lean, you're gonna give me North Carolina State at night at the crib plus 3 points in a big conference game. I'll take my points.
You can get a hook at FanDuel, so that's the thing. If you can get a hook, I think it's.
I'll definitely take the hook.
Yeah. I mean, just it's interesting to me because NC State's Wake Forest has been disappointing, and by the way, no one's lower on Louisville than me. I think they're crap. I think Malik Cunningham's overrated. Anyway, but NC State's problem is they couldn't score. Well, granted, they can't run the ball still. They scored 3 touchdowns. They were all through the air last game versus Virginia Tech. But that's a part of the puzzle they didn't have. So, I'm not on this yet, but of the games we talked about that I'm not betting, which is all of them, I'm most tempted on this one for sure. Penn State is going to smash Indiana. We're not talking about that. Marley, if you have an opinion on it, I have zero opinion on that game. You talk.
I don't have a play on it. I kind of agree with the sentiment that they are going to, at least they should smash Indiana. I don't even know the line on that game. It's not a game that I looked at all. 13.5. I wouldn't take it. 13.5 is a lot. Indiana's not that bad of a team, I don't think. I'm not sure though. I haven't followed Indiana. I have followed Penn State a little bit, but I do know their defense is horrible in Indiana. But I don't think outside of Michigan, I'm looking at it right now, they haven't lost by double digits. Okay, Cincinnati earlier in the season, but outside of that, they haven't lost by double digits. Their game's been pretty competitive. Haven't played stiff schedule, but I don't even look for minus 13s and 15s. Like I don't even pay attention to those games just to be 100%.
I'll tell you right now, I'm with you. So I do look at those games in non-Power 5 conference games. When you look at this, it's probably that way for a reason. I mostly stay away from Alabama, except for the Texas game, the first game of the season. That I read that completely right. They almost fucking won the game, but I'm with you. I stay away from
wrong.
yeah, you were on the other side, but I stay away from double-digit Power 5 lines.
I tend to stay away from those.
All right, let's do a couple more games, and then I guess at the end we'll kind of just anything that we didn't talk about that you really like, we'll cap. But
okay. All right.
What else we got?
I did before we do move on.
Yeah.
I did take the Clemson and Notre Dame over. I've been looking at my notes that I wrote down.
What number is it at?
Let me double check that really quick. I got
44.
Yeah, because Clemson, I felt like Clemson is averaging 37 points a game. Now I don't think they'll get 37, but I think they can get in the high 20s.
Yeah,
and or at least very damn close to 30. And then all you need is Notre Dame to give you 2 touchdowns in the field. Notre Dame give you 2 touchdowns in the field goal. I think you hit your total.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, another game that's a question mark for me. And it's because what's the guy's name? Spencer. It's Oklahoma State, Kansas. Who's their quarterback?
Thompson. Is it Thompson?
Spencer Thompson? No. It's
I'm on this game though. Hold
okay.
on, give me 1 second.
Spencer Sanders.
Sanders.
It was one of those kind of,
I think
American
Thompson
names.
was the starter, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe he was the old quarterback. I might be getting confused.
Well, either way, it doesn't. They haven't said that he's out, but doesn't look. He hasn't practiced all week. And Gunnar Gundy is the coach's son, is going to start, and he has like no experience. The line
Martinez was the starter for Kansas State.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, the starter is the guy from Nebraska now. What's his face?
Adrian Martinez.
Yeah, Adrian Martinez, who, by the way, is a dude. But
he is.
Right now, Oklahoma State's at +1. Is it +1? -1. I have to look that up. It's almost a pick 'em basically, and the lines dropped 7 or 8 points, and it has to do with Oklahoma State having injuries at running back and at quarterback. The problem is,
are we on? You mean Oklahoma State or Kansas State?
It's Oklahoma State versus Kansas. Aren't they playing Kansas or Kansas State?
Probably Kansas.
Kansas State's playing Texas. Right. Yeah. Anyway, and that's the game you're on, is Texas Kansas State.
Yes.
Okay, look, so we'll go over this. Do you have any thoughts on Oklahoma State? I think it's really fishy that the line dropped that much. Is that quarterback really worth 7 or 8 points? I don't think any player in any sport, maybe not even LeBron James, is worth 7 points.
Are we talking about Oklahoma State, Kansas?
Yeah.
Are we talking about Spencer? Not Spencer.
Spencer Sanders.
Yeah, for Oklahoma State. He's out?
They haven't said that he's out, but he hasn't practiced all week.
Oh, he's out. Fuck yeah. Like okay, let me say this. I don't know who the backup is.
It's the coach's son.
Gundy.
Gunnar Gundy or Gunderson.
Okay, well, let me say this. I don't know how good he is. I would like to think he has a grasp on the offense at the least. But if this is a pick 'em or a -1, I think I wasn't aware of this game, but I think I want to jump on Kansas here. Did you see what I know Kansas defense is nowhere near Kansas State.
Oklahoma State's is horrible.
But they just got blanked 48-0. Now, in the NFL, I don't like taking teams that get like shut out like that because I feel like they do a bounce back. But these are kids we're talking about. And Kansas offense fucking rolls. Yeah. They're averaging. Let me go back to
I think they've kind of cooled down a little bit, and that's also why this was interesting to me.
I would still lean Kansas though. This is a game I wasn't worried about. I'm actually going to go look it up. This is something I'm interested in. If Spencer Sanders is,
they opened the season with 5 straight wins, and then they've had 3 straight losses. Granted,
well, their quarterback
scoring
hurt,
points.
Right?
Yeah, you're right. But they're still scoring points. 23, 42, 38, only 14 versus Iowa State.
I will say this: those losses were to TCU, who we know. I think we can agree that TCU has surprised everyone. And they're a lot better than anyone has expected. Oklahoma, which it's definitely a down year, for Oklahoma, but the superiority in talent versus Kansas is miles apart. So I'll give them that loss. And then Baylor, who I picked to win the Big 12, even though they've been disappointment, but they're still a pretty good goddamn football team. And let me see if that game was on the road. Yeah, that Oklahoma game was at Oklahoma, and that Baylor game was at Baylor. They still put up 31 against TCU, 42 against Oklahoma, 23 against a good Baylor defense. I don't know. You know what I do like in this game? You know what I do like? Depending on if Gundy, because you seem kind of confident in Gundy because he's the coach's kid. If Gundy can do half of what you think, I love the over.
No, I'm not. I'm actually the op. By the way, this line it's dropped 3.5 points. I thought it was more, but I'm not confident. I was saying that because it's nepotism. When has a coach's son ever been good? It always reminds me that who was that towhead blonde guy that was UCLA's coach, Neuheisel, that he had his son was always on the sideline and he never started a game, but he was always there and he looked exactly like him. Anyway, no, I'm not. He's a freshman that has no experience. They're saying he has very little experience.
Freshman. Oh, I'm going to jump on Kansas here. I was not aware. I didn't know this game was not on my radar at all.
Yeah. But here's the deal: they haven't said that Spencer Sanders isn't starting. So
if I'm going to check that. So that's going to be my play. If Spencer Sanders is out, I'm taking Kansas. I'm definitely going to take if Spencer Sanders plays, I'm taking the over.
Yeah. Oklahoma gives, and the other thing too, Oklahoma State gives up a ton of passing yards. If you've seen any of their games or looked at their stats, but let's get to the other game that is also of interest to me too. Texas at Kansas State. I have this index with Kansas State as a 0.5 point favorite, and they're getting 2.5 points.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy. And by the way, Adrian Martinez has looked like a dude. My grandpa told me, he's watched Leinart play. He's watched all these guys play. He's a USC fan. Like I was going there when he watched. He goes, "Oh, this Kansas State quarterback's the best quarterback I've ever seen," and it was basically based off like one drive or something, Right. But he's not wrong. He's had a really good. I mean, it was a good switch of schools.
He doesn't throw the ball particularly well, but I mean, they can't stop the offense and him running. For sure.
Yeah, he gives them that element. I mean, he could. He's a running quarterback, but he's definitely doing better than he did in Nebraska.
Yeah.
What do you think? I mean, I'm probably off this game. I lean Kansas State, but
I'm on Kansas State on the money line here. I mean, although I'm from Houston, Texas, I am not. It's not that I'm not a UT fan. I don't think Stark's the right guy at coach. Although and maybe I'm wrong. The offense, and he's an offensive guy. The offense is humming. I mean, they're averaging 36 points a game, but I just feel like they don't play big in big moments. I'll give them the Alabama game. They played probably as well as you can play, but since then, what have they done? They beat an Oklahoma team we see what Oklahoma is, but then you turn around and you lose to Texas Tech at Texas Tech. I don't want to be too high on Kansas State after what they did to Oklahoma State, but we just saw what they did to Oklahoma State. 48-0. The defense is good. I don't think they're that good. That probably was an aberration, 48-0, but they're still averaging 17 points a game. Now, what it's going to come down to, in my opinion, is that can they stop? Is it Bijan Robinson? Dijon, the running back from Texas. He's like the best.
Bijan with a B, I think it's
Bijan. Bijan Robinson. He's one of the best running backs in the country. And that's going to be a problem. I love the over here because both of these offenses can score. The only thing that's keeping me off the total is that Texas offense is predominantly based off the run. If they can't run the ball, and I was on the over last week with Oklahoma State because I thought that they would just give me at least 20 points, and they fucking shut them completely down. They didn't score a single point, and they're at the crib. Again, this game is in Kansas. So I'm all over Kansas. To me, this is one of my better bets on this game. I'm going to at least drop a unit on the money line. It's under 3, so I feel like most things that are under 3, if I like it, I'll just take the money line just because it's not 3. I feel like 2.5 or 1 point. You might as well take the money line. It's kind of my thing with that. But I think if you're going to give me I think they're the better team. I don't think they're the more talented team, but I think they're the better team. They're the better coach team. I think they're the tougher team, and they're at the crib, and so I'm all over Kansas State right here. Like you said, Allen Robinson, he's been the man. They're 4-1 in the conference. I don't know. I like this team. Their only loss in conference was to TCU. That was a 38-21. And I'm getting high on TCU, man. They're so fucking underrated. So
they've surprised me and everyone else. That's for sure.
I like Kansas State here. I'm really high on this game. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased against Texas. Like I really don't like Texas. This Texas team, not the team, just more so the coach. And
you don't have to get me started about that guy. I don't like him.
Yeah.
I didn't like him when he coached my team either.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't even a fan of the hire. So when he first got there,
I was surprised because the reason he got besides not being a good head coach, and he was head coach at Washington. He was a coach at USC. He was obviously
at Alabama. That's what got
Alabama. But that's what everyone remembers him from. But he was an assistant offensive coordinator or offensive coordinator for Pete Carroll during all those glory years. But anyways, you don't have to get me started about him. But he lost his job because he was had some problems with prescription drugs. He was a pill popper.
I do remember they was
so that's one of the which
but
is horrible.
Doing a good job at USC anyway during that.
No, he wasn't. But it didn't help that we had the Reggie Bush thing, and then we had Pete Carroll leave, and then we had that. There's always some fucking thing going on. But and that's at every school. I just think they the bigger schools, they look at it differently. But anyway, I was surprised that Texas hired him. To tell you the truth. But he's there, and he's actually probably doing the best he's ever done as a head coach.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the offense is scoring 30 points a game. Yeah. I mean, he's the offensive guy, so I can't complain, I guess.
Yeah, well, whatever. So you're on Kansas State. Those are really, as far as big games go, I mean, there's
crazy.
There's Florida, Texas A&M. I mean, there's some other. Well, we could talk about this one. That's be the
you
last
had an
big
extreme
game.
Show. I'm just looking at Help Shizu's comments.
I don't know. I think this might be. Yeah, Markel, you're right. I think this might. I'm not sure who this is. It might be someone that I know, but
just fucking pulling your strings and shit.
Yeah. Either way, it doesn't matter. All publicity is good publicity. That's for sure. Yeah. I think. Last game that we'll talk about that's big, and then we'll kind of go into other bets that we have. Bama, LSU. I have Bama as 11-point favorites. LSU is getting 13.5. That is a little line value. It's in LSU, but I just don't, unless I have a real good feel on the game, like Texas, I don't fuck around with Alabama. I don't do it because they will crush your soul. And LSU is, I guess, granted, it's Kelly's first year, but by their standards are probably having, I would say it's like I'm not surprised by how LSU is doing, right? I'm not personally, but can they keep it within 2 touchdowns against Alabama? I don't know. I mean, if you have an opinion, let me know. But
I don't know. We talked about this on the show Tuesday. I didn't give a play on this game, and for the simple reason, it's just I don't know what I'm going to get from LSU offensively. I think it'll start as a competitive game just because of the hype, the nighttime LSU, everybody be pumped up, probably going to get the best LSU. I mean, this is essentially their Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to get the best LSU team you got. And they do have a quarterback that at least has the majority of the attributes that are to beat an Alabama defense, but they don't have the offense yet. Like this, he's like half of the quarterback because I don't think he can run and scramble around, but I don't think he has the passing ability to beat them. I think they'll spread them out. They'll try to open them up, and I just don't think Daniels is the guy, or maybe he doesn't know the system. I don't want to hate on Daniels. He was in Arizona State, for whatever talent discrepancies they have. I cut him some slack. LSU is his first year in Brian Kelly's offense, so I don't know. Should we cut him some slack there? But I know he's talented. I know he's capable. He has put together games where that guy could be Alabama. He's surrounded by talent. But I don't know. I wouldn't take him. And this could easily be a blowout. But I'm kind of with you. I normally don't take Alabama on this. Now, what I do with Alabama game is I bet first halves because they'll come out and destroy a team. Most of the time, if it's a competitive team, I stay away. But in games like this, first half -6, first half -7, I'll be on those. That's a lean that I would give. It's not nothing. I'm definitely not betting this game at all. If I do, it'll be live, and that'll be because I'm watching the game and I just see something that making my fingers itch. But I don't have a play. I do have a lean Alabama first half. For what that's worth, it's probably catch it at 7 since it's 13. But 13, man, that just gives me back. Unless you get a blowout, that gives me backdoor vibes all day. This game is at LSU. Nighttime is one of the craziest places to play. Everybody's going to be at the fucking game. It's going to be loud. And they do have the defensive athletes to be able to keep up with this team. So
they're still a good team. They're 6-2. It's a top 10, top 15 recruiting school or destination, even though it's not a USC or Ohio State. Well, actually, who knows? There's a lot of Southern boys that love it. I mean, there's a lot of Southern families that breed their kids to go to LSU. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, mostly LSU people. I've been there. I mean, me being from Texas, I'm right next to Louisiana. Like,
yeah,
there are kids that's just like growing up, like, oh, I want to go to LSU, but LSU is probably in their top 5 to top 10 schools. It's when they're winning. I'll say that.
They're getting good talent, though. I mean, it's not. Are they getting Alabama talent? No, but
right.
But I don't know. I think LSU is kind of doing what they're supposed to do. You know, 2-loss team. It's not surprising to me that they beat Ole Miss because Ole Miss, I don't see it. Why everyone was so fucking high on them. Another SC coach I don't like. I like him even less, just because I want to punch his face. But Lane Kiffin, his dad was a dude, but he's a little biatch. Anyway, all right. What other I'm gonna get into my 2 plays, which are definitely, I don't have 3 today. I only have 2. Everything else is a question mark. But do you have any marquee games? Or I'm talking the games I like are crap. So I mean, even any like SDSU, any late night Mountain West action. I mean, anything before I get into the picks and
we actually covered the games that I have plays on from the show anyway. But games that I'm looking at that I'm tending to bet is probably going to be the Texas Tech UCLA, Texas Tech TCU. I'm going to look at the over in that game. I think I do like. I don't like a -8, but if I can get a 7 somewhere,
yeah, I think it's going the other way. I have them 9.8 point favorites, so a slight lean, but in a game like that with a touchdown's tough.
Yeah, I don't like the 8. If I can get a 7 or a 6, maybe. But I do like the over in that game. Texas Tech can score. TCU, we know what they are. But outside of that, maybe UCLA minus the 11. I think they can beat Arizona State by double digits. I don't like the 11 though. So maybe I'll look at a team total over there. I don't like 66 being the total. I feel like I'll need UCLA to give me damn near 40. But if I can get like a 30, like I got tonight with Washington, I'll definitely take that. So that's something I'm going to look at, UCLA team total over. And I'm going to look also at the what was the game I just said a while ago?
Texas Tech TCU, you said.
Texas Tech TCU. Also, I think I like UTSA on the road at UAB. Smaller school that nobody's thinking about, but that's a -1. I'll just money line that on the road at UAB. Or another option for that game is the total. UAB defense is pretty good, but UTSA scores on everybody. I mean, they scored on UT. So I don't think that, even though UAB is only giving up 18 points a game, but UTSA is averaging 30. UAB is averaging 30. We're getting a 52. UTSA is giving up almost 30 points a game. That total looks really, really, really good to me at 52. I mean, that's 28, 30, 28, 26, or 28, 27. I mean, you just need a couple. I think that's easy. Depending on the weather.
I could definitely see that happening. I have UAB as 3-point favorites, but
really,
yeah. But it's 2 teams I haven't watched enough, and with all the other games, I liked other spots better before. I just kind of brushed over it.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I do like the total. I like the total more than I like the side.
Okay, I know UTSA can score. I think UAB can too. They have not been on my radar all.
Yeah, they both average 30.
Yeah.
UTSA averaged 35. So we're looking at a total of 52. I think we can get there.
All right, cool. Well, why don't we just? I mean, like I said, I have 2 plays. I'll cap them when I give them, but why don't we just jump in and give me? You know, you can give no plays, you can give 1, you can give 2, up to 3. Okay. If we didn't talk about them, but I have a feeling we talked about at least one of them. So,
Yeah, Kansas State is going to be my play. I'm on Tennessee +8, but if I have to give one play here,
You can give 3.
All right, so I'm going to give the Kansas State money line play.
Okay.
We're also going to do the total in the Texas Tech TCU. I really like that game.
You like the over?
Yeah, they'll be my two best plays.
Okay. And you don't want to do Tennessee because I'm not going to be doing that one.
I mean, I'm definitely betting it. So yeah, we can put it on there. I mean, I'm definitely going to bet that play for sure.
You can get it at 9 right now. Texas Tech TCU. Let's see where that is at right now.
That's dope. Currently, my brothers are at the Hurricanes.
Yeah, that's the Earl brothers' younger brother.
Okay, all right. The Earl brothers. I got you.
Yeah,
I took the over in that game. What's that score looking like? I haven't checked it since earlier.
It's 4-2. So you need another
one more fucking
one
goal.
more goal.
Shit. Yep. Oh, we got 9 minutes left. We got time. Yep.
All right. So so just to be sure, the TCU Texas Tech total is at 69. You want over 69.
God, that is high.
Yeah. It's high.
I still want it.
Okay. That's all good.
I'm gonna take that.
And then the money line for Kansas State is +120. Not bad. All right.
Cool.
So I have 2 plays, and that's it. Just 2. One is I'm going to take a very square bet on a game that happens every year, Air Force Army, and the last 9 times it's gone under. So it's at 40.5. And I'll take the under. That's fine with me. I don't care about a square trend. I've bet these. I don't know if I bet it every year for 9 years, but I bet this game. I bet we've all bet these games under, and every time, it's going to be the year. They're so heavily weighted to the under, it's not even funny. So why not take?
All they do is run the ball.
Yeah, run the ball, and that's it. And they keep dropping. I actually think this is kind of high. We've seen 30 last year. I think we saw for Army Navy 36 or 38 or whatever. But
what is it at now? I haven't kept
40. I think it's 40.5. I'll look it up. Of course. Total. It's at 4. It's actually going up. It's a 41. I'll take it at 41. Hell yeah. Let it go up. I mean, it's not like they can't score, but there's just some weird juju. Last 9 times in a row, it's gone under. So we'll do Air Force.
Because everyone else they play doesn't see the option. In both of them see the option every day.
And they can't fucking throw. I mean, these guys are bad. Their starting quarterbacks are not. They're bad. And they're also smaller too because you're not getting. They have. I think during football season, while they play football, they can be a certain size. But when they leave the academy, they have to cut down to weight, which some of these guys lose like over 100 pounds. It's crazy. Anyways, the next game is a team that I've made money on this year. Is New Mexico against Utah State. I've made money betting New Mexico, and I've made money betting against Utah State.
One of my little league guys plays for New Mexico State. He got a scholarship.
This is New Mexico.
I mean, I'm sorry. I meant to say New Mexico.
New Mexico, yeah.
This is I don't think he plays, but this is his freshman year.
Yo, that's awesome. But
yeah, it makes me proud as a coach.
Well, there you go. It's even more of a reason. I have Utah State as a 10-point favorite. They're laying 14.5, and they just first of all, you're giving Utah State 14. I mean, Utah State's bad. The second thing is they just played. Granted, it was at Colorado State, I believe. They just played Colorado State and were 10-point favorites, and they won by 7. They didn't even cover. And Colorado State's numbers, go look at their statistics. I won't go through all of them. Are the exact same as New Mexico's, almost identical. They're bad at everything, but identically bad in every category: passing, rushing, defense. So I'm getting more. Granted, it's at home, and you're giving me a hook, 14.5,
right?
3 scores. I'm all over that. So I got New Mexico plus 14.5. Cab's gonna laugh at me because he's always on all these big games, and then he asks for my plays, and it's like
See all these
Temple.
little games. I haven't talked to Cab in a while. How's Cab doing, man?
He's good. Actually, I hopped on a show real quick. I'm gonna hop on it again. They're watching the Duke Boston College game. I'm sure if you reached out, he could come and hang out. There's not many people that are.
Oh, he's
doing
live
it
right now. He's live on Friday.
On PSR, New Mexico plus 14.5. But that's it for me. I mean, I wasn't going to do the show, and then and I had something to do. But, I have a commitment to do it no matter what. I'll do it by myself. Next week, we're going to have everyone. Earl Brothers will be back. Terry will be back. We'll do hockey on Wednesday. Hammer Poop will be back.
Oh, man, I got to start making sure. Okay, hockey's on Wednesdays. I got to start making sure I'm here.
It's all good. I mean, hockey usually takes like an hour, but I'm trying to dumb that down. But it actually a lot of people like to bet hockey, and those guys have decent hockey followings.
Right. So my hockey, I consider my hockey like my baseball. Like I'm not, a hockey capper per se. Like baseball is not my favorite sport, but I do like to bet it. So, and I think I do. Man, I did. Damn good.
You smoked it, dude. You absolutely smoked it.
I don't know. I think I do the same. Like so far, I haven't been keeping up my record, but so far in hockey, like I've been fucking killing. The only thing I don't know yet, because I don't watch the sport a whole lot, is like when injuries happen. Because what I typically do is I go if I find teams that I like, and like in baseball, I'm a trend better. So I'll find the trends. I'll look at the goalies, what they're doing, how many points they're giving up, how many points they're scoring. And I kind of make my decision based off that, which is not great. But like that's exactly how I do my baseball stuff. I do pitching, ERA, and I follow a handful of teams, and then I bet trends. Football and basketball is like the only sports I like dive deep, so to speak, into because I understand the nuances.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, I do better in baseball and probably hockey than football and basketball.
Well, yeah, you smoked it this year. I know that. My hockey is like was like betting video games to me. I know nothing about it. I know more about hockey in the 90s when so you had ESPN and that was it. And you had to watch all of ESPN to get to where you wanted to, right? So I knew all the sports. I knew like the Red Wings and Yzerman and Fedorov and all these, Gay Bear and all these guys, right?
You know more hockey than I do.
Okay, so that was back in the 90s. But now that you have the computer, I didn't have to watch. I haven't watched anything about hockey for 20 years, and I'm getting into it just because it's fun. But you said something that's right on, and that is the sports that are the hardest to cap, and I at least like to watch. Baseball I like watching college basketball. It's my least favorite to cap. It's just so gruesome. And I love watching it, and it makes me money. And then Major League Baseball is the other one, and I like to watch that the least of any sport.
Yeah, I agree.
But if it makes me money, I'll watch it. Anyway, let's get out of here. We had a short show. We went over, I think, what are the important games. We gave out 5 picks. And we're going to go on our way. Thanks, Marley, for coming. Plug whatever you want. He does. I mean, he go to his channel, but plug away.
Yeah. Just come to the channel, man. At Brothers and Bets. Follow me at Marley Bets, but follow my channel at Brothers and Bets. And we do Tuesday, Wednesdays, college and NFL. The college basketball show will be coming soon, as well as the NBA show will be gearing up here soon. We pretty much cap all sports. There's shows dedicated to everything with the exception of hockey, but I throw out my hockey plays on either the college show or the NFL show, depending on what's going on that night. So catch me there. Catch Dave there. Wait, he's over there. Catch Dave there. And yeah.
Thanks for coming by. You go check out his channel. Not more content than here, that's for sure, and good stuff. Him and Coach, and a slew of other guys. But anyway, we're gonna wrap it up. Thanks, guys, for coming and watching. We will have a full panel next week, starting on Wednesday, and next Friday we're gonna have college basketball to talk about. So it won't be no hour show; it'll be the normal, ridiculous long time. And this show is supposed to be that way. It's not supposed to be like the other shows where we're just giving out picks. That's kind of what we did this show. It's about sitting and talking and learning with each other. And if no one watches, that's good for us because we'll win all the money. But anyway, thanks for the small audience. Little Earl brother, go to bed. It's past your bedtime. And we'll see everyone next week. Good luck at the window, guys.
All right, man. Appreciate you.